get the win?
I thought we dug in a lot of different scenarios. Obviously they've got a lethal power play, and I think we did a good job limiting their chances in our zone too. But right off the hop, I think we were ready to start, which helped throughout the game as well. And that's something that we've been focusing on a lot throughout these playoffs, is starting on time and getting to our game as fast as possible.
Jesse Granger with The Athletic for Zach. When Barbashev was brought in, he was you guys talked a lot about his playoff experience. Can you just talk about what he's brought and also just the timing of his 2 goals tonight, right after they scored power play goals?
Yeah, like you said, it's tough to find guys that can. I'm not saying he didn't turn it on when he came and joined us, but he's one of those guys that thrives on this time of year and rises to the occasion. And obviously you saw tonight, he's good in all situations. He can play on the power play, he can kill penalties, great in the D zone, smart player, can play with anyone up and down the lineup. And I think those types of guys are hard to find. And then you put him being a great person on top of it and joining our team and bringing to our team what he has. He's been a huge addition for us. And obviously you saw tonight, he contributed in a lot of different ways. I think he's a guy that you can trust in all scenarios, and I think it's a testament to the way he plays the game.
We'll go Danny, Ryan, Willie.
Danny Webster, Las Vegas Sun. Will, the numbers-wise for the PK against Winnipeg, not that great, but a couple of the guys in the room said that the structure was there and that, if you stuck with it, things would go well. Even though they scored twice, do you feel like the structure for the PK was there? It seemed like a lot of frustration on their end trying to get through the zone.
I think so. I think the plan we had was a good one. When we don't execute, they score. So we just got to make sure that we're, always heads up and on our toes. Because when we did that, we did a good job.
Ryan Clark, ESPN. This is for either one of you. When you have a game like this where in 5-on-5 you do a lot of these things correctly, you play this concerted plan, but yet they have 1 or 2 guys that can make a difference with Draisaitl scoring 4. How do you reconcile a night like this knowing it's a bit of a mixed performance?
You.
Obviously it's no surprise to anyone that, on any given night, either of those guys, and they've got more than just obviously those 2 guys, and that's no disrespect to them. They've got guys up and down the lineup that can contribute in those facets, right? But as a 5-man group and as a team, you have to focus your energy a little bit more. Obviously on the things they do well and the personnel they have out on the ice at the time, right? And that's up to the guys, the 5 guys on the ice as well. And it's just paying attention to the details of the game as well, right? Knowing where they are, kind of what setup they're in, where they're coming in the rush, and all those sorts of things, right? So obviously, like you said, 4 goals, but you got to do your best to try and limit that. And obviously they're 2 great players, right? So
We'll go Willie, Sean, Ben.
Willie Ramirez for the Sporting Tribune. Will, for you, sort of to piggyback on that, on the opposite end, this is a team that comes out with a lot of speed, but it seemed like rather than waiting to match their speed, you guys came out looking to set the tone with your own pace, forcing them to sort of play along with you. Was that sort of the idea of how you wanted to do rather than playing along with them?
I think so. If we have the chance to dictate, we're going to take it, and I think we did that. Like a great start, and we just kind of continued on that. And I think overall, we played a pretty good game, and I think we were dictating most of the game. And if we can keep it that way, that'd be great. Because rather that than let them dictate the game. Because they're pretty dangerous.
Zach, is it hard as a defenseman, or maybe even disappointing? You mentioned about how being really good when they're out there.
Mm-hmm.
Leon scores a goal from 5 feet behind the goal line. You put him right where you want him. You put him in the least dangerous place on ice, and all of a sudden the puck's in the back of the net. As a defenseman, knowing that that's a possibility, does that make all of this even more difficult? That you can be that good and still get burned?
I don't think it makes it more difficult. as you saw tonight, it's hockey, right? Anything can happen at any given moment, and as obviously that's the beauty of our game. Shifts in momentum, hits, whatever it is. And this game goes back and forth either way, and obviously, each team has their players that can impact that at any given moment. And obviously, we have those guys too. But to your question, obviously he made a good play, right? And then you look at it, take 3 seconds, and you got to move on. And you can't change what happened. You got to try and fix it. And you just got to pay attention again to the details of defending certain guys that are on the ice. And again, that's up to the 5 guys that are on the ice to recognize that and just make sure you get the job done, right?
Last 2 for these guys will go Ben, then Chris.
Then goes Las Vegas for you, Joel. Zach, you mentioned the hits. I mean, it seemed like they were being very physical with Mark in terms of, some cross checks, some shoves to the back, but obviously took it and then scored a power play goal on them. What's it been like to see the way that he's responded to teams playing him physical in the playoffs?
It's no surprise, obviously, Mark Stone's this time of year. I think the first question I said, you've got guys that get, there's like a switch, right? There you got guys that just can flip it, and it's playoff time. And to be able to get 61 back in our lineup, and the way he leads, the way he just the way he plays the game of hockey, leads us as a team. Energy, talking, the way he handles pucks, the way he defends, the way he goes up ice, the way he competes. Obviously with him taking cross checks and all those sorts of things, that's part of playoff hockey. And you got to take yours, and obviously give a few out, and that's part of the game. And that's the fun part of this year. You can get. It's as series goes on, you go back and forth with, guys you're matching up against a lot of the time. Doesn't matter who it is. And that's the fun part of this year. It hurts to win. And, Stoney's the biggest example of that. He's taken a lot, and he doesn't retaliate. He does all those sorts of things, and that feeds through our lineup. And, like I said, it just, when you do get, cross-check like that, it just reminds you that, you're in the playoffs and that stuff's going to happen and it hurts. But, that's the exciting part.
One more from Chris.
Chris Chapman, Fox Sports Las Vegas. Zach, Lauren's personality is described as like cool, calm, collected.
Who'd you say, sorry?
Lauren.
Oh, okay.
He's very cool, calm, collected, Zen-like in a way. What type of effect does that have on yourself and maybe the rest of the team when you have a guy who's just so relaxed back there?
Yeah, it gives you, everyone else playing in front of him the same feeling, right? When he's comfortable in there, he's making his saves, he's playing the puck. He's talking to you when you're in the D zone, especially for a D-man. Maybe the forwards not so much because they're not usually as close to him as we are. And you can hear him, back there chatting, having fun. And again, he's the type of guy that enjoys this time of year, and he's having fun doing it. And every night we try to go out and make his life as easy as possible, whether he's moving the puck, whether he's trying to see through traffic, and just competing for him because he's been competing for us for a long time. And, he deserves the best from us every single night. And that's what we obviously strive to do to, make his life as easy as possible, whether that's talking to him and when he's playing pucks, as a D-man specifically. And Carl can speak more on it because he hasn't answered a question. It's like boxing guys out, right? And just doing those things to make sure that he can see pucks or play pucks and all those sorts of things, right?
He's doing such a good job. So. Yeah.
But yeah, he's obviously he is a calm human being at obviously off the ice as well. So and obviously that transfers over to the ice.